So, so I wanted to just spend a little time saying, Narada is saying, Bhakti is not just kirtan, Bhakti is not just lighting a lamp, Bhakti is not just making donations a few times a day. Bhakti is all of your behavior. Akhila charita, akhila, complete, nothing left out. So when you do that and you let go, then something natural will remain. And all the stylized versions of your will leave, or the will maker. And the ego then slowly softens and then fades away. Just like if you listen to really, really good music, the kind that really touches you, and different people have different versions of that music, sometimes the ego disappears, the listener disappears, the evaluator disappears. And it's a sublime experience because now you are operating the observer in you, which is the observer in the others, everything. It's the same higher self that starts operating through you. So I wanted you to be aware of this. So yes, you need your phantom will, human will, egoic will in the beginning of Bhakti Yoga. I mean, you needed to show up for classes, you needed to sign up, for a class or know where the Zoom link is. Even I needed to use my will to make an effort and persist in my puja, my ceremonial time at the altar, because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. But I made an effort because the Shastra told me that it's a way to train the mind, to make it sit in front of symbols of Ishvara. Doesn't matter which culture, whatever, but it could be an empty space. But if it's your altar, to sit there quietly, it's kind of like a yogic upasana training. So I would use, the will to kind of take it, but then at some point you soften it, soften it, soften it, until you go into a state of surrender and you realize that there is no push and pull anymore. And so you use some will initially to not choose rajas and tamas, choose sattva, to not waste your time reading samsaric books, but maybe rereading some other good spiritual book, anything that uplifts you, not listening to gossip, but pulling away and listening to sounds of nature. So you use that, but gradually through knowledge, you realize that it's really important that you stop fighting between your individual will and cosmic will. Just like, and I'll tell you that, when you're trying to fall asleep, at some point you have to stop trying to fall asleep. As long as you try to fall asleep, the sleep is at bay. It's at some moment you stop trying and sleep comes over. So it's almost like if you stop trying to be successful, trying to be something more, and then you find a few years later that you've blossomed into something whose aroma is confirmed by others around you. We're trying so hard. So please understand the nuances. Like, yes, you have to use your ego to lead a spiritual Vedic lifestyle and come to the satsang. But at the same time, give up that will. Only use it for your spiritual atmic journey. But in the samsaric realm, try to trust more and to surrender more and say, well, this is my jurisdiction. This is what I can do. This is what I can put out. And let's see what happens. And you'll feel like you're floating. And you will find that sooner or later something else is revealed. Something occurs which is undeniable. And so it is like a cosmic hand is leading you, as it leads the birds and the butterflies and the trees. When did we humans become so supremely fantastic in our will? Because we have just done nothing with this doership that we have gained. We have become worried. We have become anxious. We have become separate, and we are suffering. Worried, anxious, separate, and suffering. So this was the first part of this verse. Okay? The next part says, Tada vismarne param vyakulatayati. What does it mean? If we live in a state of moment to moment surrender, my children, when we start living there, remembrance is enough of the Ishvara principle. That this is all pervading, omniscient, and it dwells within me too. And if this difficult person or difficult thing is happening or challenging thing is happening, it is all happening in divine order. Just this remembrance is enough. And any separation from this remembrance, because through remembrance you are in union with Ishvara. But any separation causes what? Param vyakulayati. What is vyakula means? Anguish. Extreme anguish happens if one moves away from constant remembrance of Ishvara and self. As long as one is close to Ishvara, then one is close to Atma, which are actually one. Paramatma, Atma, macrocosm, microcosm, same thing. To actually be on the altar is to be close to you in the case of Bhakti Yoga. And the ego becomes with training softer and softer and held despite difficulties, or difficulties will last shorter, or they will not have that drastic damaging effect. And slowly the person's emotional suffering will start reducing. Okay, this is what happens. But when one forgets that, when one forgets this knowledge, when one forgets this learning, then their focus on Ishvara and Atma reduces. And then what happens? One gets caught up in the waves of samsaric life, samsaric identity of roles, relationships, worries, anxieties, past, future. And one gets caught up in all those delusions, and one becomes really, really in a suffering mode. One becomes terrible. So what I read on the forum was this note from a member of mine which said, I've noticed and I'm wondering if others have too, that forgetting is becoming more and more uncomfortable, painful, even it becomes barren so quickly. And I'm wondering if it's a built-in mechanism of sorts, a natural motivation to be more diligent about not forgetting. So you can see how much this Sadasya's painful pain from forgetting, she used the word forgetting, is so indicative of the definition of a bhakta or bhakti, that this person, when they are remembering Ishvara, which is equal to Atma, then they are comfortable. And when they forget, they feel more pain. Why? Most of us are in pain all the time. We just numb ourselves out by food, by media, by phone, by talk, and by collapsing in sleep, or alcohol, or substances, or sex. We're all the time suffering. But those who are in bhakti actually have moments of respite, and they have moments of peace, right? Amrita Swarupa, it is like nectar. And they have moments of union. So they are now feeling more and more comfortable. And as a result, when they forget, they experience the pain even more because they have touched or experienced their true nature. And it is so close. Unlike how religions have told us, we don't have to die to be with God. We are avatars. We are the embodied expressions of God. And God dwells within us. As a result, whether we are sinners or whether we are enlightened holy people, God is always with us. And tiny bit of remembrance is enough to bring paradigm shift. But forgetfulness is painful. Parama vyakul, not parama prema. Vyakula means anxiety, suffering, restlessness. Parama vyakula, para means extreme, vyakula, restlessness, iti. This bhakti, if it is a true bhakti, it causes some damages to us when we forget. So I wanted to acknowledge my Sadasya, my student member's experience, and through her experience, remind all of you that indeed, when one forgets to remember, offer, remember, and it's not like I'm offering, it's like this formal dialogue, but remembrance is offering. Remembrance is offering. If in this moment my ego forgets Ishvara, then I will become a dangerous teacher to you. And if you as students forget Ishvara, then you become a danger to my lineage tomorrow. Because all you then want is some knowledge and to package it and to sell it and to run it and to make money, right? It is the knowledge of Ishvara and our internal humbleness that comes from that knowledge and that unity that comes from that knowledge with all beings that make us genuine, even if we were not genuine yesterday. Ishvara's knowledge is that knowledge that unites us. It makes us one. Our heartbeat is one. This is what ends differences and keeps us simple. You really think I could be a teacher of this knowledge without Ishvara's will? And many a books I tried to write. I have 22 plus manuscripts and drafts. But the book that Ishvara wanted me to write is on Ishvara. And so not one. 5 books are coming in the coming 2-3 years. All focused around Ishvara. Whatever fight my ego put up is sitting there, half finished. Lesson learned, right? For this human trust, flow. So it's not a punishment. By aligning with Ishvara, we align with the cosmic intelligence, the cosmic mind. It has a purpose for us. Sometimes we overburden ourselves. I must do this. I should do this. But all that Ishvara wants is for us to put our feet up and enjoy a cup of hot water. That's all. And so the more surrendered we become, the more intuitive we become, and the more we honor this Ishvara flowing through us, and the more we come into alliance and an alignment, alliance and alignment. And the followers of Ishvara is not a religion, so there is no name for you, except we can say that you don't have an ego. Or you have an ego that helps you, do things around samsara, but it doesn't obstruct you from connecting with the divine mind and the divine heartbeat that flows through all beings. So you can be, in your samsaric world, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a clown in a circus, you're a spiritual teacher, you're a Hindu, you're a Sikh, you are a Buddhist. May all things be offered to Ishvara, the greater intelligence. And may you reach that place where forgetting this Ishvara, this divine intelligence, causes you suffering and makes you want to come back. That is definitely a good lakshana or symptom. So, what are the things that take us away from the chintan or the thinking about Ishvara, when do we forget Ishvara and do not offer our actions, do not keep submerging our ego in that? One is worry. We start worrying. We feel like I better do something quick, worry. So write that down. This worry is taking you away from divine agency into this phantom agency. It wants to push you into being the shadow monster trying to get ahead. Okay. Now, another one is jealousy. When we look at others get ahead, so we think, well, they don't go to satsang, so they must be knowing something, right? And so I'm going to copy them, or I'm not happy with how so it's just jealousy, looking at others rather than looking at the Ishvara within them. And then uncontrolled desires. And we are talking about desires constantly, like how they make us restless. Their only job is to make you restless and stay stuck with your head inside the sand of samsara. It wants you to desire a way into discombobulating. That's all it wants. And you fulfill one desire, it breeds you 1,000 more desires. It just never ends. And that is why only Atma Chintan or Ishvara Chintan, Chintan means thinking, only those thoughts make you calm now. And the final one, so it's very important, this list, worry, then comparison or jealousy, and then no desire management. And, especially if we are products of the modern civilization. In the modern civilization, whether it is India or America, it's the same. It just says that you have a desire, then you have somehow this fantastical privilege to fulfill it. And America is a land to fulfill all your desires. It's not true. Not true. This loka doesn't fulfill desires. It only rewards some and doesn't reward the others. It is not law of karma works here. Not you think and fulfill your desire. Most of us get desperate and, act criminally towards ourselves or the universe to get what we want. So the fourth and final one is doership. When we think we have so much agency, I'm the doer. This doer is a interesting delusion. You can't even create one nail by yourself. One hundredth of a nail you cannot manufacture. Cannot manufacture this body, this intelligence, these sense organs. You think I'm a doer. And then the doer gets caught in the shipwreck of doership. But if you think that I'm an instrument, then the higher forces can flow through you. It's a very practical satsang that I'm giving you. And let me not sit on a higher pedestal. Let me tell you that I'm speaking to you after many shipwrecks of my own. Because you can listen to this, but it takes a while to learn it, to really understand it. But now when I actually share it with you, I can tell you that these words are not coming from doership of a body and its phantom agency. When doership dissolves, that is when God's hand starts working through you. That is when God enters your speech, your writing, your tears, your laughter. And some things are not right. They're still okay. They're still okay. Nothing feels like it's grasping you, tightening you, and squeezing you. Everything feels spacious. That is the beauty of bhakti that I will add for you. So these are my teachings for you today.